If you were one of my besties and you came to me and said, Teresa, I'm thinking about moving to the San Bernardino Mountains. What do I need to know? Here are some of the things I would tell you that you really need to seriously think about. And honestly, some of them are pretty much non-negotiable. Here we go. Number one, cell service. Now, I'm not going to name any brand names because I do like to be neutral that way, but there are a lot of cell service providers down below in the valley that work great, but once you get up here on the mountain, they are definitely not your best choice. So there is one company up here on the mountain that pretty much has all the coverage. And there are some other companies that lease space or service from that company's cell towers, and that gives them a little bit more coverage. But if you come up the mountain and you notice you've got regularly 1 bar, 2 bars, or God forbid, no bars, you might want to consider switching. Number 2, mail delivery. Except for a very, very small, teeny tiny area of the mountain, there is no such thing as street-to-street mail delivery. Here in the San Bernardino National Forest, the United States Postal Service does not deliver mail from door to door or even from neighborhood to neighborhood. Instead, you have a P.O. box, and the post offices are located, they're dotted all across the mountain. The basic small box is free for residents. If you want a larger box, you're going to have to pay a little bit more, but you're not going to get your mail delivered straight to your house, straight to your street, even to a community mailbox. It all comes to the United States Postal Service post office. Number 3 goes hand in hand with mail delivery, and that is package delivery. You know all those things that you order online and they magically just show up at your doorstep? Well, unlike the United States Postal Service, ground carriers will deliver to your physical address. So go ahead and order, so that FedEx or UPS or whoever can come deliver to your house. But there are some exceptions that we as locals know and understand. First and foremost, if there is an active snowstorm or the roads haven't been plowed clearly enough, what happens usually is that the driver goes to the nearest post office and just drops off all the packages there, and they don't come to your door. Also, during the holiday season, it's not uncommon for them to do the same, but only because they are packed to the gills with packages and there's no way for them to go house, 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 kind of like Santa Claus, and get it all done at the same time. So they will divert sometimes to the post offices for that as well if it's a big package delivery time. So how do you get your packages if for some reason they don't come to your front door as planned? There's a way to address everything so that just in case it shows up at a post office instead of your front door, the postmaster knows who it belongs to and you will get your package. I'll go ahead and I'll explain down in the description below exactly how to address things when you're having a package delivered to you up here in the San Bernardino National Forest. Number 4, we are very dog friendly up here on the mountain. That said, just because we're in the middle of the San Bernardino National Forest doesn't mean that the dogs are allowed to free roam. Be sure to have your dog on leash and please do pick up after them. But here's some good news to go with it. There are several dog parks dotted across the mountain for you to take your pup and go play in and also meet other dog owners and make new friends. Number 5, there are some great parks up here on the mountain that are separate from the parks run by the forestry department. One of my favorites is in Lake Arrowhead. It's McKay Park. It has pickleball, tennis courts, basketball courts, and 2 great play areas for the kids to enjoy, including jungle gyms and structures to play on, slides, and even a little zip line to enjoy. Number 6, there are plenty of farmers markets up here on the mountain, and depending on their location, they could be big, they could be small. Here's one that's just starting to get set up for the day. It's going to be a lot larger by the time everybody else gets here. Number 7, for you travelers, the closest international airport is down the hill in Ontario, California. That would be Ontario International Airport. LAX is just a little bit further out. And up here in Big Bear, we have a smaller airport, the Big Bear Airport. Number 8, speaking of air traffic, we don't get a lot of big flights passing over the mountain, so it's relatively quiet, but there are some dedicated flight paths that you might be subjected to. And also, if there's a major weather event, such as the Santa Anas, the airports can completely divert over the mountain, at which point, even though they're flying at a safe altitude, they feel really, really close. So be prepared for that. Number 9, there is a courthouse on the mountain. It is in Big Bear, but when you get your jury duty summons, 99% sure that you'll be doing your jury duty service down in San Bernardino. Last but not least, number 10 is situational. It can be a little confusing, so bear with me while I try to explain. Depending on when your house was built, and in some cases where your house was built, it could have more than one address. Now, your official address is the one that's on your grant deed and is also on your county property tax bill. But the utility companies may have you down for a completely different address. For example, I know of one house where the county address is one thing. The address for the gas company is a different one. The address for Southern California Electric is another one. And guess what? For the water company, it's a completely different address. Sometimes it can be a switch from a 5-digit address to a 3-digit address. Sometimes if your property is like on a street to street lot, meaning that the house faces one way, but the property line also goes to another street above or below it, you could have an address that is on this street and an address that's on that street. So basically what it comes down to is when you dial 911, they're going to come to the address that is on your property tax bill. But when you're trying to set up your utilities, it might be worth a double check to also make sure that you have the meter number handy when you call in to start or stop service. So, I already have a series where I talk about what you really need to know before moving to the San Bernardino Mountain communities. I'm going to go ahead and link it up to this. But in the meantime, what do you think I've missed? Tell me what I need to explain a little bit more, or additionally, in the comments down below. I do read them, I do respond to them. And in the meantime, if you would like to explore actually living in any of our beautiful communities here in the San Bernardino National Forest. So that's everything from Crestline to Lake Arrowhead to Running Springs to Green Valley Lake and Big Bear. I'm your gal. Give me a call at 909-442-1345. I'm Teresa Grant, your local realtor, and that's bye for now.